And welcome, everyone. It is chapter number 2 of ChatCanna, and an exciting Friday it is. We're in the bottom of the year. I think of it as the bottom of the year because to me, July 15th was halfway between when we got out of school and when we go into school. And so January 15th is the top of the year, and that's how my I'm going to print a calendar one day that is scheduled that way. And I was just talking to a doctor, and he says, wow, I think of it that way too. So great minds think alike. So we're just 2 days past the bottom of the year, and don't mind the technology that's happening behind me. We're going to have a green screen here yet today, so it's going to be wonderful. Want to introduce my co-host, Veronica Michael. She is a hemp producer extraordinaire from Fargo, North Dakota. And also, what a wonderful smile. It's like, we go to the same dentist. No, we don't go to the same dentist. But we're going to have a wonderful show here for you today. Thank you for joining us. And for those of you that see us later on, because it's just amazing, it was about, it's over 2-1, by the way, Veronica, from last week's show. Mm-hmm. About 300 were with us during the show, and over 1,000 have now seen us.
Wow!
Yeah, so it's just exciting times that it's so it's about 1 to 3 right now, and that'll probably get higher as the show gets a little more known, and people, that's the awesome thing. When you're on radio, it's that moment. Either they catch you or they don't catch you, and it's kind of gone forever. Television, much the same, although we now have the button where you can record it or set it to record when you're not home. But the beautiful thing about the internet is we do it, we put the show up there, it's kind of there forever. Today we're actually broadcasting on LinkedIn. Nope, we're not. LinkedIn is giving me an error message. But we are working toward also being on LinkedIn so that we, because LinkedIn, of course, a very professional place where we make associations and friends. It's sort of like Facebook for professionals is how I describe it. And we're going to try and put a link over to there. But I see they've just now gave me a message back that I did something wrong. And that's why we're playing with it on my personal site up at LinkedIn yet today. But ever expanding, ever going great. You can see in the background around me here, that's our indoor grow. That's some of our plants just a couple of days ago in one of our, I call them fish houses, because to me they look like Minnesota fish houses, each little box, and it's silver on the inside and of course black on the outside. And in there, our master grower is controlling temperature, humidity, and of course each pot full of mostly Minnesota bearden soil with all sorts of different amendments to it. As we're tiny, we do research and development. We're not one of those massive fields like our guest is going to show us here in just a few minutes. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Oh, here we go. I saw you do that, so I'm going to sneak one in. You take it away. Let's introduce our guest, and here we go with show number 2.
Hello, everyone. This is Veronica, and I'm so happy to be here today. So we have an awesome guest with us, someone that I've known for a while now. His name is Riley Esser. Riley is a grower of hemp from outside of Perham, Minnesota area, and he's joining us today. Hey, Riley.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you today?
Pretty good.
So where are you standing?
Right now I'm sitting on my golf cart on the edge of the hemp field. About 20 feet from the hemp right now.
Nice, nice. So when did you get your stuff planted?
It's been in for just a couple weeks. We got it in a little late this year because we were waiting on a planter. We did it by hand last year on our hands and knees, and we weren't going to do that again.
How many plants did you plant last year?
I think last year we had about 2,600. We're doing 3,000 this year.
Wow. Riley, could you tell us a little bit about why you chose to start growing hemp last year?
Well, I heard about the hemp program and I started looking into it, and I've always been interested in hemp and cannabis. And when I found out that we could grow hemp legally, I just kind of jumped on it. I thought it'd be fun.
Had you grown any other agricultural products before?
No, on our property, we've done a lot of food plots and, vegetable gardens and stuff, but we've never done hemp before.
How did you know where to find seed or plants?
I started looking on the internet to begin with. A friend of mine had a connection out of Bend, Oregon, and she helped me out with those first seeds. And then I found a supplier out of Wisconsin that I really like, so I started going with them.
Nice. What's their name?
Everything Hemp.
Okay, Mike. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And did you choose to buy from Mike again, Everything Hemp this year?
I bought everything from Everything Hemp this year. All my seed from them.
Wow. Wow. So the planter, how did you find that?
A friend of mine who started a hemp farm purchased one, and I rented it from him. I believe the name of his farm is First 10 Farms.
Okay. So, one of the interesting things about you and Uncle Funky's farm is that you started farming last year with hemp, and it's an investment. What do you think is one of the biggest investments you made as a new grower to this area?
Right now, I'd probably have to say time, because there's a lot of time involved.
What got you to hemp? What have you been doing? You didn't show up at the field to grow hemp. What's your life been up to now?
I've been a plumber most of my life. I started pretty young. I was about 13 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so hemp is your first jump into agriculture?
Yep.
Wow. Unbelievable.
It is unbelievable because Riley grew a beautiful crop too,
yeah.
And we have had the pleasure of getting a chance to work with it. But you were very successful as a first-year farmer out the gate, but then also just a first-year farmer, period.
Well, thank you.
Were you like us? We were panicked because we planted them and they sprouted and they started to grow, and then it's like they didn't do anything. They were just stuck for a while. Did you have that experience down in Perham?
I think that's where I'm kind of at right now.
Okay.
My plants are just starting to bush up.
Yeah, and then they just stopped for a while, and we were calling around, and it was like panic city because gardening you're kind of used to there's a line, and things just tend to kind of go on this line. And hemp, it just seems to sit there for a while, and then there's that magic couple of weeks where it goes from a plant to a Christmas tree, or at least we had Christmas tree style CBD plants. So what have you got out there? What's in the field? What's planted?
I have a CBD strain called Eclipse and a CBG strain called Opulent.
Okay.
I kind of wish I would have done all CBD because I don't know how the CBG is going to pan out.
Do you mean that as far as the growing the plant, or what do you about end extraction work and the market there?
Well, I'm kind of afraid that the bottom's going to fall out of the price on the crude, kind of like it did with the CBD. But I don't know. Just from what I've been reading, the CBG, I don't know if it was the best choice on my part. They're growing good.
I'm happy that you were so honest about taking this risk, because it is a risk. On the other hand, I mean, so many researchers are saying that there's potential with CBG and other options. We'll see what's ahead. I'm with you. I haven't seen enough real need in the marketplace yet, or real exchange. John, what do you think?
I'm in the same feeling with you. Of course, we would love to get a little bit of that CBG product when it gets through the processor, to start doing our side of the finding out with, so that we can try and get that market for Riley. That's our side of the game, is to get a little bit of that in our hands and see what we can do to cultivate a market that's going to ensure that Riley and all the other farmers have a flow through channel, because it's not fair for farmers to sit out there and do all this work on a maybe. That's my big thing. And this for me goes back to when my grandfather, a mile down the road, packed up turkeys. They raised them, they grew them from eggs, raised them, butchered them, packed them into 55-gallon barrels, shipped them to Chicago. They went on the mercantile down there and were sold. And when it was all over, they got a bill for shipping. You know, they didn't even raise enough money to pay for the shipping to get them to Chicago. That's not how it should be for farmers at any time, and particularly not in 2020 and for CBD, CBG farmers. And so we have a mission. That's one of our missions, is we've got to get this channel so that Riley and others like Riley know that, hey, you know, I'm going to get not only repaid for my work this year, but I'm going to be able to stay in the marketplace, feed my family, and do it again next year.
Yeah.
Might not get rich, but I'm in business and I'm an agriculturalist.
Well, I think we also have the opportunity in hemp to close the gap quickly, so that people can understand, hey, what you choose to purchase in the grocery store or the pharmacy or wherever, choose something local. Choose something that's being grown by a farmer you know or is in your region. Riley, you've put out a product under Uncle Funky's, correct?
Yes, I have.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's a 1,500 milligram full spectrum, and we've got original flavored, which is just hemp flavored, and then we have peppermint, which is really good. People love that. And we've got it in a few stores now. We're in Central Station on Main Street, Durham. There's a little cactus shop called Pick a Prick. We're in there.
Well, we've all done that.
Sorry, that just hit my funny bone there.
And then we're also in Masterpiece Vape in Perham and Detroit Lakes.
Wonderful.
Wonderful. I mean, I'm glad we're talking about this. The hemp market has been hard. It's been hard on farmers in the last year. It's been hard on producers and manufacturers like us. But I do think we can turn the corner if we hear more about what is being grown local and how to buy those local products.
Yeah.
So everyone's shaking their head.
No. Here.
So Riley, I have other questions though. I want to ask a little bit more about the field. And so what were some of the first challenges you had with planting the plant when you first did some planting last year?
Well, last year was a lot of fun. I got a lot of my friends and family out here to help, and we put the plastic and the tubing down, and we actually took a piece of 3-inch PVC and cut it at an angle and walked the field and made holes in the plastic with this piece of PVC. And then we're on our hands and knees and we hand planted the entire field. I don't think I ever want to do that again.
No, because that was 3,000 plants, correct?
Amen. We did 920, and I'm with you.
That was about 2,600 plants.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a great experience the first time, but it's something you want to tell your grandchildren about only one time. So, yeah.
I don't know how many hours we had into hand planting, but it was a lot. And then I rented this machine and I did the whole field in about 7 hours.
Wow.
So that was quite the improvement.
That is quite the improvement. Now, for harvesting, how did you do that last year?
Well, that was fun too. The plants got so big, a lot of them were 7 to 8 feet tall, that we actually ended up having to use a chainsaw. And we just chainsaw them off at the ground and load them into a trailer and bring them to a shed and hang them. That was a pain in the butt too.
So you were successful in hanging them up. How did you hang them?
We used deer fencing.
This way or this way?
Who, me?
Did you hang them upside down or right side up like a Christmas tree?
Oh, upside down. We just kind of weaved them into the deer fencing, kind of like a straw hut or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it worked pretty good.
Did you use any additional fans or any airflow movement, or did you just literally hang them then in the barn for a period of time?
Oh no, we had big construction fans in the buildings moving the air. And yeah, it dried out pretty good. We actually hung in a grain bin for some of it,
Sure.
thinking that would be one of the better spots to hang, and it was not.
Yeah.
It got moldy in there.
What John, you're smiling. Did you try the grain bin too?
No, but we thought about it because here on the farm we have several grain bins that are now too small for the typical farming. It's one load, it's one semi-load, and so they're just available to us. And you know, like he says, air. It's just air, and you know, regular box fans were not enough for us. Riley, we ended up hanging them right side up so that the leaves, so that it hung out, because we didn't have good luck hanging them upside down because we just couldn't get enough air. So, you know, we either hung them right side up, or we laid them out on big wire nets so that there was just enough, we could get enough air through things.
Well, there was some spots where we got too much packed in, like we wove too much into the deer fence, and that stuff didn't dry very well either. But if you keep it separated well in the deer fence, it seems to dry pretty well upside down too.
Yep.
So what are you going to do differently this year for harvest, or maybe the same?
You know, I don't really have a harvest plan yet. I keep trying to think of better ways to do it, but it might end up being the same thing.
Well, you were successful at it.
It worked. It got a decent cure on it, and everything seemed to turn out pretty good. Veronica, you were happy with it.
I was very happy with it. You know, so one thing I thought was interesting about you and Uncle Funky's farm, Riley, is that you grew to a spec that was both for a hand roll, some flour, and then to a processor like us. Had you made that decision early on when you jumped into the game, or is that something that you kind of learned through the process of growing?
I planned on doing smokables the entire time. I don't think a lot of people are doing that, and I don't know that was the best choice for me, because smoking's just not cool anymore. People don't like to smoke no matter what it is. So I kind of wish I would have extracted more of it.
Okay. John, what do you think? Did you grow some for a smokable product too?
Well, yes, everything that I have, the 80 pounds that I still have, is all, smokable quality, because we didn't save any of, we only saved the trunks and the heavy stalks because my partner is also interested in the concrete or the hempcrete side of things. So we were saving some of the plant for that, but we never thought of the idea of harvesting most of the plant to take to a processor like yourself, to try and get the last little CBD out of the leaves and the minor stems and things. So we had really hand harvested to the marijuana standard, if you could say those words. We really have just the buds in my buckets that I still have, that we're now drawing out from using the infusion method for the stuff that we're doing for the testing and products that we're playing with. So that,
right,
because Veronica wants 500 pounds and I got 80, so
I gotta have 500. Riley knows my rant.
Totally get it. So
Riley, tell us about the equipment that you purchased for your post-harvest production.
Post-harvest. Oh, you mean like my trimmer?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, we bought a Centurion Pro Mini. It's a really nice trimmer. It has a keef catch. It seems to work a lot better if you do dry trimming through it. But that keef catch is really cool. We ended up with a bunch of keef that's too hot though. Now I'm trying to figure out what to do with that. But it did a pretty good job on our trimming too. And the trim that came off of the bud, Veronica and her people were really like the size of that. That came out of the trimmer.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful both in the particle size that you were able to give us from that trimmer, but also the containers that you used to just move it around were extremely helpful to us too.
Yeah, I got a good deal on those.
You want to talk about those containers and what you use?
Well, they're kind of like the flip top totes, the kind that flip down and they kind of lock together. And I got like 200 of them from Henry's Food, I believe, out of Wadena. They were kind of beat up and stuff. They weren't using them anymore, so I got a really good deal on them just because they were upgrading. And we just cleaned them all out, hosed them out and used them.
They're perfect. They're perfect, and I think a really ingenious solution for trimmed product instead of buying super sacks or buying something else. And a great stackable way for storage too.
Yeah. Yeah, those super sacks are kind of expensive.
Oh,
yes. They are. So what do you wish you would have known your first year that you know now, Riley?
Oh, well, one thing that I keep thinking about a lot right now is under trimming. I wish I would have under trimmed all those plants last year because when it came to harvest, all those branches that were low and didn't really produce very much just made things more difficult. So this year I plan on being out there and under trimming every single plant.
John, did you guys do trimming last year?
We did not, but of course, we have a GemaCert tester that for testing, and so we did a lot of top, middle, bottom, inside, outside testing, and I totally agree with him that there's no value to that stuff down there. It's taking plant energy and nutrients, so totally a right thing to do. You just got to invent a shop creeper with big wheels on it, so you can just be with an electric button, so you can be laying down and going through the field, or better yet, we'll make some artificial intelligence here that we can say push a button on it and say go take off the bottom 14 inches of each plant, and it'll just come back when it's done and look for a treat from you. So
it's like a hemp Roomba.
A hemp Roomba. There we go. That's exactly. See, Veronica, I knew there was a reason you were here.
I have great ideas.
Oh, you do? That's right, a hemp Roomba.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you that this golf cart that I bought is probably the best farm investment I've ever made.
Absolutely. We have both a golf cart and a Polaris Ranger.
Yeah.
And, they laughed when I bought the Ranger. I've had for several years. I bought it because a cousin won one in a contest. Can you believe that? So I bought his old one from him, and everybody around here, what do we? You're just wasting money. That sucker hasn't shut off in 2 years. I mean, absolutely.
Oh. So Riley, you said something that I want to jump back to, which was that your biggest investment has been time. And what would you say for your, using the trimmer, separating the product, how many hours would you say approximately you spent?
Holy cow. I've never even tried to figure that out because I don't think I'd be happy with the number.
It's best not to.
Yeah. Not to mention all the friends and family, all that labor too,
Again, best not to.
Yeah. Tons of hours.
Yeah. But that's the beauty of being a farmer. You know, that's the being outside, and you see the cloud formations. And I don't know if you have children, but you know, showing the children earthworms and how the dirt works, and having that in your hand, it's just a little bit different than working in another basement doing your plumbing job. I mean, it's
Right.
there's something to it that until you do it, you can't explain it to people sometimes. So
I do like farming, but it is a lot of work.
Do you have time to do other work besides farming?
Yeah, here and there. I'll help my dad and my brother out if they need me still. You know, the middle of summer is kind of a dead time for farming. So I'll probably be helping them again. Today I'm going to go help some friends with some small projects just as favors.
Oh, you're the friend everyone wants.
we'll put his number down on the bottom. 800, call Riley. So
hey, but you have a website. Do you want to give your website information to our listening audience?
Yeah, it's unclefunkiesfarm.com. And we do have our products for sale on there also. We actually made an online sale a couple of days ago, which was cool.
Congratulations.
Yep.
Well, hopefully you'll make more from this viewing.
I hope so.
We hope so too. We also have at our website a lot of pictures that Riley took of his fields last year. You're a wonderful photographer.
all right.
I think my phone just has a really good camera on it.
How's that? UncleFunky'sFarm.com.
There you go.
It alliterates. It's really good. So drop by and say hi. So wonderful. Who do you use as an engine to do your selling? Are you hooked up with PayPal or Shopify, or who are you doing that with?
Well, PayPal just shut us down last week. Apparently they have a problem with hemp.
Yep, PayPal is not for hemp.
And my web guy got us set up. I don't remember exactly what he's got it under, but it's working now.
Good. Okay. So the one takeaway from today is no point in doing it with PayPal, I'm hearing. So
No, Square. Square's the way to go.
Square. Okay. Square is recommended. Okay.
Well, Riley, it was so good to have you with us today. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, no problem. You want me to turn the camera around? So
Yes. Can you give us a
field?
little tour here now? And we may lose you as you're moving, but we'd love to see the farm. You can actually fire up the golf cart if you want, and
Oh, sure.
and we'll get some.
Here, I'll try not
Riley,
to.
your beard is awesome.
It just keeps getting bigger.
It's so like ZZ Top.
I've never heard that one before.
I'll stop with my bad jokes.
And we're gonna make your picture the big one here, Riley. But we'll still be talking to you. So
All right.
once you get where we can see here, oh, look at that. All right.
Yeah, can you see it all right?
Yeah. Okay, so you're running a strip, about 4-foot strip of plastic down to keep the weeds away and everything, and then bringing the hemp plant up with that little device you made, the slanted 3-inch PVC. But then how are you getting water to the plants?
Well, we have a drip line here. I don't know if you can see that or not, but we have a PVC header.
All righty.
And then each row has its own valve, so we can valve it off for whatever we need to do.
All right.
This year we didn't use that piece of PVC that I told you about earlier. We actually used a planter, and that planter actually punches holes, and then you just drop the plant in as you're riding on it.
Okay.
That's the way to do it.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. No kidding.
And
My
so
dad-
you throw that PVC away then, or do you can you use it from one year to the next?
Well, that was the idea behind the PVC, was so that we could reuse it next year.
Okay. All righty.
We did lay flat last year, and it worked all right, but it's kind of 1-year use.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Well,
Your fields look beautiful.
Yeah,
yeah.
they're getting there. I'm a little behind, but I think they'll catch up. My soil tested out really well this year.
Did you add any fertilizers, any nitrogen, phosphorus, any augmentation, anything?
We used nitrogen from manure. I have
Okay.
a friend who's got a organic farm, and he's got just about every kind of animal you've ever seen on it. And he hooked me up with a semi-load of his manure, so it was a good blend.
Okay, and that's mostly cow manure then?
Well, no,
No, I think it sounded like every kind of animal.
every kind of animal. He's got sheep and goats and pigs and cows, everything.
Uh-huh.
Chickens.
My goodness. All right.
That's perfect. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he feeds them all organic. We're trying to get certified organic out here.
Nice. Okay, so where are
That's
you?
wonderful.
One more year or
Yep. Yeah, I think this is our second year, so next year would be our third, and then we should be after that certified.
Fantastic. Well,
That's fantastic.
we want to come back. Maybe we'll do a few minutes with you later in the year. We want to see how the plants are growing and what you feel about them, and get a little testing, maybe some test results, and see how things are going down at Uncle Funky's.
Yeah, would you be willing to do this again, Riley?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Maybe I'll have a little better setup next time.
All right.
This was good. This was good. This is the real deal, right? Really in the field.
It's the real deal.
Well, thank you for your time today, Riley. And we will catch you later in the season.
Sounds good.
All righty. See you, buddy. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Have a good day.
Bye.
You too.
Bye.
Well, awesome. Wasn't that fun?
Yeah, that was really fun.
Perm must be really good for the cell phone coverage.
No kidding, right?
I mean, I can't take you out to my field and get that quality of a signal continuing all the time.
No, I almost wanted to ask him, like, what's your phone? Because it's just beautiful.
But it's got to be under a cell tower or something, because, to be able to keep that broadcast going absolutely perfect is just beyond measure. So, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe that's why his plants are so good. They're getting that, conspiracy theory. They're getting that radiation from
though, I do like that we talked just a bit about buying local and how important it is for people to really start considering buying local CBD products from growers in our region.
Absolutely. He works hard. You can see that he's a hardworking guy. I mean, plumbing is a hardworking business. We are. My friend is having some plumbing done, and the gentleman said, "Hey, I quit advertising 2 years ago because the phone won't quit ringing. I could hire 4 more plumbers. So you can just work from morning to night." Mm-hmm. And so he gave that up to become a farmer.
Another work morning till night gig.
Plumbing. They pay you every hour. Every hour you work, they pay you. And now it's like, well, you put it all in the ground, and you ask God for rain, but not too much, and you ask Him for sunshine, but not too much, and the good bugs, but not the bad bugs, but no money until the end of the year, but not quite the end of the year, because first we got to send it to Veronica, and she's going to process it, and then I'm going to have this, and now I got to do something with that, and then I got to hope that some folks are going to locally buy my product. So yes, we hope that folks will dig in and buy these products. We have an unbelievable story to bring you in a week or two. It's my business partner. I want to absolutely get all the details set in stone before we bring it to you, but it is literally a miraculous story. Is it the hemp that did it? We don't know, but certainly the hemp is part of it, and it's the reason that motivates him and me a little bit too, because you're in the hot sun and you're working, and but yet we are seeing immediate results in our extended family that wow, this stuff is more than just a truck stop hoopla. I mean, it's got to be doing something, because there's incredible things happening with the using of hemp products, particularly for people who are ill and not feeling well. So we're going to have
Wow, John, that's a teaser.
Well, I'm sorry, and I bring it to you today, but I don't want to like brag about it or say something that's blown up. I want to have exactly, the right details, the right story, so that I'm not. I don't want to be a snake oil salesman, and I don't want to overpromise in any way. I just want to say these are the details, these are the facts. Make your own judgment, but certainly we believe that something is happening here, and it will be a continuing story. But it's just really neat family news that is beyond Thanksgiving. So just some good stuff, and it's that's the difference. I mean, if you raise wheat, I mean, wheat is wheat, and it makes pasta, and it makes things, and it doesn't really change too many people's lives. Not that it's a bad thing. It's our sustenance. It's what we have to eat as generally people, except for my gluten intolerant friends. And thank God I am not gluten intolerant, because I don't know. I have a friend that's gluten intolerant. We went on a 2-week cruise, and it was great, but I salute gluten intolerant people. They have a fortitude that I do not have. I would probably just take the punishment. I would just eat and take the punishment. So
just roll around in bread.
I would just roll. That's right. That's right. Have you been to Israel? Have you ever been to Israel?
I have not been to Israel.
Go sometime. I encourage everybody, no matter what the political problems are in Israel, both sides realize that, not counting this COVID thing at the moment, but both sides realize that tourism is where the dollars come in. So you can go as a tourist, and you will be, I have great stories about that, but go. But the breakfast, because of course you will be in a hotel that serves kosher food. There won't be any bacon, which you start missing after a few days, or I do. But I'm telling you, the bread, there'll be 40 kinds of bread in some little out-of-the-way hotel. 40 kinds, and each one is different. And one tastes like rye, and one's pumpernickel, and one's some kind of grain that I've never even eaten before. And everyone is, and you just slather the butter on, and then whatever other things you like to put on bread. And it's like, and you walk enough that you don't gain an ounce while you're there. And go to Israel. If you have
one of my best friends in the world lives in Israel.
You have a reason.
I have a reason to go.
You have
a reason to go.
Now, when your last name is Reitmeier, you have a little trouble at the border. They separated me from the other 15 news people. And why are you here? I'm with them, But because of the German last name, they both going in and going out, they separated me. But my smiling face, I'm just a news guy. It was fun. Go to Israel. I want to tell everybody, go to Israel, and for the food, and of course the history.
Of course.
No matter what your religious beliefs are, if you know history at all, to be able to walk in the steps that Jesus walked, and all of that history, the Roman history, the Greek history, and it's there, and it's right in front of you. It's not like books and internet is great, but you're there, you're walking on the steps. Go. I'm sorry, we're way off the track here, but on the other hand, hemp is mentioned in the Bible 6 different times. So,
oh my goodness. So what other news do you have around hemp?
And my cohort here tells me is that Israel is one of the forefront leaders in the research and development of hemp, cannabis, the marijuana side, all the different sides of it, as they are in a whole bunch of things. That's where our general tester comes from. And Casey, I'm sorry, I'm not plugging this in. I am out of places on my limited computer here, but we'll get it later. So.
No, actually, that's so true. Israel has done amazing research around not just injecting really the cannabinoids with other cancer-treating drugs to see if their efficacy was increased. They have also done some things to see if cannabis or the cannabinoids can destroy cancer cells. Their research is amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they're not shy about it. I think they're a little more aggressive than maybe America is to try something. And they have all of the hemp and even the marijuana products are available to everybody that's in a rest home, nursing home, living center, or anything. It's just years ahead of us here as they do that today. So
I hope it will get there soon. We're changing our ideas about wellness and how we want to treat our bodies. But most importantly, the Farm Bill has given us an opportunity to not see this as a drug in the same way as we've seen it as this wacky lettuce idea, and to see it as a medicinal product that we have the true blessing to work with here.
And we are just at the forefront. I mean, we're just children in this learning scope of what these products can do for us. And we haven't even really started breeding them up to bring out the components in them that we want.
Exactly.
Just like we made corn to be the way we want it for both animal feed and people feed and everything like that, or wheat or barley or oats or flowers or the other vegetables that we eat. We haven't even started. We are, that I was 20 years old to be able to watch this through a lifetime rather than being going to be 69 here before the month is out. Can you believe that? 69. So
congratulations.
Thank you. So I wanted to extend my life because I want to see what's going to happen. This is going to be so exciting. You young'uns, you get to watch this as the next 20 and 30 years and 40 even for you develop and go through. And that's so exciting because this doesn't come along. All the other plants and stuff have kind of been worked on a lot by a whole lot of people over a lot of years. There's this couple of plants that were passed aside because of some bizarre governmental policies. So here we are. We're having at them, and we're going to get to see how this works out. And I just wonder how it'll be when a few years even from now, when we're going to talk about the methods we use now, and we're going to go, boy, we were really wrong about that because now we do it. Now we do it this way. He's talking about his CBG and wondering if it's going to be a good year for it yet. And I believe there's great things in CBG, CBN, the different CBs.
But I believe that too. And I actually see more movement happening in Australia or European markets with products with CBG, but I think they're just ahead of us, right? They're ahead of us in seeing the cannabinoids and the specific cannabinoids benefit. And CBC is another thing, but I'm with you. CBN is great for sleep. They're finding in research that it really is more helpful than many medications they've given folks.
Okay. Where are we going to go with this? It's going to be so awesome. Now, when he brings his two different products in, do you process it the same? Will it go through the equipment the same, or do you do it significantly different to get a different oil out at the other end? Or is it much the same?
It's much the same. So we think, we believe it will perform the same as his product did this year. And the process, of course, when we do extraction, we are pulling all the cannabinoids. So like you said, how much space and excitement there still is in genetics and just all kinds of opportunity for us to really refine in hemp. What is the cannabinoid we want to focus on? Do we want a CBD plant? Do we want a CBG, a CBC? Can we convert that to CBN? So I think that profile of the plant, we're always extracting kind of what's already there. This we will hope to see extreme high level of CBG, but hopefully a market that follows.
So he's going to get back from you generally without any secrets, but he's going to get back two different kinds of oil basically. hoping that one is high in regular CBD, one is higher in his other CB, and then finding that market for that, of course.
Exactly. And you know, as a grower, John, the even within the field, the profile of the plants, potency, its terpene profile can differ a bit. So we're always homogenizing a farmer's field in one way to have that extraction process happen.
Yeah, and at some point, wouldn't it be awesome if a machine could go out and take all the top buds, and then you get 500 pounds of top buds, and you process those, and then see what you get, and 500 pounds of side bud, and wouldn't it be great if we could go and really strip out a field at some time? And we will have that at some day. You will be really narrowing down, because that the side buds or the lower buds that didn't get as much sun are going to be stronger in something. And the very top angel, where the angel sits on the Christmas tree, is going to give us something else. And again, so exciting.
But I think that's why, as a processor, I always want to be clear that we do want to homogenize sample, because that premium top of the plant is often too much for us, right? We need that whole homogenized plant to test to see what is what's the true cannabinoid content there, and not just at the very tippy tops.
Exactly, because we do grow a whole plant, and we don't know what's where in the plant, or we're learning now more what's where in the plant and which parts we want, and of course the hempcrete guys want that stalk and the biggest parts of the roots, and the paper guys and the blue jean guys, and we got to find those markets and get those plants to them too, so the farmer's not leaving value in the field, because
Correct.
That might be part of the profit at some point, so that he's not just selling one thing, but he's selling all of the things.
Absolutely. I think that RE in Minnesota has been looking, what's the probability of taking, what exactly you talked about, those stalks, some of those sugar leaves, and pelletizing it. Is that something that can be used in a corn burner? We know the BTUs in hemp are high, right? You burned your hemp.
Oh my goodness. We had a lot of fun this year, because of course we burnt a lot of last year's product, because we did a lot of work on it, but it just wasn't anything I'd want to bring to you. For the bud that was in it, it was just a lot of crap after we had worked so hard on it, because of the 8 inches of rain and the snowstorm that happened. And yes, the fire was intense. You cannot get that kind of fire out of cardboard boxes and other kinds of stuff. It was like an oak fire that had been burning for some hours. So yeah. We've got to find these things, and that's of course the research part that we and lots of other people are working on. And it's so neat that like Riley, he's trading work, he's interacting with other people, and that's where we're going to find all the answers to this. Is, well, you give me a little of this and I'll give you a little of that, and we're going to come together and find it. So it's
exactly
great. Well, I think we had a great number 2 show. How about you? Anything more we can on today's show? I think we should call it here. Folks, we hope that you will pass this show along to your friends and share it. Give us your feedback. We've had both of our different email addresses up on the screen here today. This is ChatCanna. We're going to come to you every Friday morning at 9 o'clock Central Time until you tell us you don't want to hear from us anymore. It's a cooperation between Veronica's wonderful company down in Fargo and our little research facility up here in Crookston, Minnesota. And we would like to hear from you. We want to participate with you. We're lining up what we think are guests that have a lot to share with everybody. I want to hear from every one of them. I'm excited to hear every guest that we've talked about that might be a possible victim. No, I mean a guest on our show. So I'll leave you with a final word today, and we look forward to seeing everybody next week.
Thank you, John. We look forward to seeing everyone from Fargo here next week too. I just appreciate the time today. And I want to say that myself, and the investors that make up Prairie Products are really proud to be the first processor here in North Dakota. And again, we just want to encourage you to check us out at www.prairieproductsnd, as in North Dakota.com. Learn more about us and the products we make with local and regional farmers. We'll see you next week.
See you next week. All righty. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.